Hey everybody, Eric Sullivan here. I'm the Northwest Sales Manager for LMK Technologies, and today I am in Tacoma, Washington at the City of Tacoma Environmental Services Division. Yeah, we're here with Hugh Messer, and other than that we have the same haircut. We also share an interest in trenchless technology and cured in place pipes, specifically T-lining. Hugh, what kinds of sewer infrastructure challenges does the City of Tacoma deal with?
Well, I would say the two largest infrastructure challenges we have is our system's old, so a lot of structural issues.
Yep.
Specifically with connections, we have, and I would say probably 90% of our repairs are connection related. Since we own the connection itself and or the riser only, that's the majority of our repairs. And then the other thing is our city payment restoration policy now is fairly expensive as far as whenever there's an excavation. So it's no longer just repairing the hole you dig, but you got to do a minimum of 20 feet times half the street, and if you go past the half, it's the whole street. So the cost of that has probably tripled since in the last few years since our payment restoration policy has come into play. Got
it. Wow. And yeah, you said about 90% of your repairs these days are on the connection?
That's correct.
Wow, okay. And that you kind of spoke to this a second ago, but can you say a little bit more about the ownership or the jurisdiction regarding the sewer main line, the sewer connection, and then the laterals, and how that all works in the City of Tacoma?
Okay. So for the City of Tacoma, we own the actual wire, the T, to the first connection. So to the first joint is ours. The rest of the pipe remains the homeowners from wherever it is in the street all the way back to their home.
Yeah.
If there's a riser, we own the riser up to the start of the bend. So they actually own the bend, and from there back to their home.
I see.
So there's a significant amount of ownage, what the homeowners own.
Yeah.
But there are times that, we try to help out as much as we can. If we can, we'll work and repair what's within our box.
Yeah.
But that's the only ownership that we have.
Got it. Okay. So most cities with a similar, ownership and similar, infrastructure deterioration choose to do mostly contract-based repair. What had the City of Tacoma, choose to take it on as a self-performed in-house program?
I think number one is I like the technology. Right, the technology is easy to learn. It's fairly clean process. But I think a lot of it's response time. If you're dealing with a contractor, you have to go through our purchasing policies. We have to go through contracts, which goes through a whole bunch of processes, and it takes quite a bit of time to get it into place. So as far as response time, it takes a long time. Having our own crews do it allow us to plan the work, and actually allows us to respond 24 hours a day, whatever we happen to need. So. Yeah. We don't have to worry about the cost limitations or, hey, we're going to do 5. Hey, we're hiring you to do 100 connections at this price. We're just cost and materials, and looking at the overall cost. It right now, even though we have reduced significantly, when I say on our excavation costs, we've reduced our excavation costs probably almost by 2/5 to half in the last 4 years. Yeah. Which brings the cost down. But even with that, we're still only about a third the cost to do a third to a fifth the cost to do a liner instead of an excavation cost now. Especially with the pavement restoration, which is driving a lot more of that. So
that's a significant savings. Wow.
It is, and the response time really is a big deal. It's you're planning. There's things that we try that. It's hard to explain what you want to try with the contractor because you see it, but then you have to work with them going, could you do this?
Yeah, and that all has to be in writing.
Right, and so since we have our own TV program, we can do all the investigation ourselves. And worst case is if we screw it up, I just go out and then we can actually send an excavation crew, which would have had to have gone out there in the past anyways.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, okay. And for how long has this program been in place?
We've been doing LMK lining for, I want to say it's going on 10 years. But we have not really had a dedicated crew. It's more been, hey, this job is hard. Let's try the lining on this job. So it's been very far in between, and recently we made the commitment to put on a full-time crew.
Yes.
And that was been in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
and that really came about with the T-lining process.
Yeah.
We're able to remove a lot of roots now, so we're doing preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Where before people were 2/3 or they'd be out of service within a year, we know it.
Yeah.
Now we're able to actually go clean the roots and actually know whether it's their problem or ours, and in some cases, again, be able to align and solve the problem before it actually becomes an emergency call. We've actually reduced, 4 years ago, our work was almost 70% responsive in emergencies type situations. In other words, stop what we're doing, go do this dig because they're out of service. Last year it was down to 14%.
Goodness.
So, I mean, from 70 to 14%, that's a big difference.
That is a real difference. Yeah, absolutely. So back on the T-lining program, you mentioned in the last few years, you guys have really been able to have a dedicated crew. And what have been some of the initial challenges that you guys faced, and how have you guys overcome them?
So there's a couple different issues that we had. Number one is with the rope system, put a pulley system of 6 pulleys between trucks. So every foot you pull, you get 6 feet of rope out. And so even if you only had a 75-foot swath, the first pull, you're getting almost 600 feet of rope out.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. The second thing is the initial process. You had to do 3 different manhole entries. Again, anytime you do a manhole entry, it's not safe and it is time consuming. So our setup time was approximately 30 to 45 minutes to get a launcher in, get it connected, get it pulled in place to be prepared to put in. So we worked with the Schwam robot to hook up to that and eliminate the manhole entries for doing T-lining work. So that was one of the things that we did. And then the second thing that we worked on was with the lay flat. You try to turn it, it does flex. You have to have air into it to move it to different things. We have actually modified the launcher a little bit by using some pump suction tubing. So that you have complete control over the Schwam. We actually can drive it in now. We've eliminated the ropes. So we've went from 30 to 45 minutes to get it in the manhole and start pulling in place to approximately 10 to 15 minutes that it's in place and drying. So it has sped up our process significantly.
That is, and I noticed that definitely when I was visiting the other day. And so just to quickly kind of describe, let me say it back to you and tell me if this is accurate, how you guys do this process. So you obviously have 2 manholes, let's say manhole A, manhole B. Manhole A, manhole B. Manhole A is your CCTV truck that drives into the repair location. Manhole B is where you would insert first the T-launcher, and you guys use that suction tube that's rigidized.
That's correct.
Right, and on the end of that there is the Schwam puck attachment, and then that gets pushed in and the Schwam then connects with it, and then now the Schwam as a single axis self-propelled robot, very heavy one, is able to push that forward through.
That's correct.
And then once the CCTV unit starts to see that equipment in the pipe get to the repair location, in the Schwam/T-lining trailer, there is a monitor with real-time view of the CCTV truck. So the operator's got the camera on the Schwam, and the operator's able to see from the other end of the repair the CCTV truck's image.
That's correct.
In real time. Okay. And that's then, at that point, you would invert and then cure the equipment.
And the other thing that's nice about that, what we've done is the air controls are right there, so they're no longer at the hole. So we've actually mounted that in the trailer. And also the operator who's looking at both those views also has the control of the Schwam. So it's one individual doing it, and it's no longer talking on the radio going, okay, inflate, stop. And, it's too late, or you've gone too far, one of those things. It's actually him, he can handle everything, and he's just using the other individuals out there to maybe manipulate cables or pull out, because they're the ones
on the mule tape.
Exactly. So that's worked out good. And the other thing is it's allowed us to go from, we have installed T-liners with a 3-person crew. So it reduces the amount of peoples required, and I still send out a 4-person crew just to be safe, but
Yeah.
the reality is we can do it with 3 now.
Yeah, got that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm really hearing obviously a commitment to innovating and trying new things. You know, kind of your own R&D, but that's kind of all inside of that. Y'all are dealing with not just the structural deterioration of your sewer, but like infiltration.
Yeah.
is a problem in the city of Tacoma, or has been.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You know, we go from, we're average about 15 to 20 million gallons a day, and when it's been raining during the winter, you know, we'll peak 100 and 110, 120 MGD. The nice thing is our plant is capable of handling that, so it's
That
not a
always
huge
helps,
issue.
yeah.
But the bottom line is stopping what's caused an M source,
Yeah,
and that's taking a workload off of our excavation crew, because
totally.
prior to that, the only thing we could do is dig a big hole in the ground.
Yep.
Right, and so last year we were a little over almost 300 repairs. Our goal this year is 350 repairs, and we're hoping to just keep advancing that
Yeah.
as we get the process working. So.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Hugh, I really appreciate your time and your willingness to share, you know, what you guys are up to and what you guys are looking to do next. And I think it'll make a difference for other cities and people interested in this type of technology. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.